You know, I remember an audition late night, and it was one of my first auditions ever, and I read it, and they all stared at me and said, "That's terrific. Can you do it again with an accent?" And I turned around and said, so I'm walking down the street, and I saw this Lydia. She stopped, stared at me, and disappeared. And they were just like stunned. And I said, well, you said do it in an accent. Well, we were thinking, you know, more barrio.
Hey Common Senster, if you are interested in acting tips, showbiz insight, industry interviews, or just life lessons, you've come to the right place. Today I have two veteran, I'm saying OG actors sitting at my table. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to have them both here. Please help me welcome Danny Mora and Ismael Carlo.
Hey, everybody. Hey, vaya.
We were talking earlier about how many priest roles you have gone up for.
Well, I've gone up for a number of them, but the one that stands out of all was in Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vanessa Williams.
Wow.
And I got a lot of play there. And if you look at that, they did something very strange and odd. Because when I look at it, I say, what's wrong with my eye? And what they did was that they have these stars like.
Oh.
They make my eyes sort of
the computer again.
Yeah,
Again.
only because the character was a Colombian drug dealer, and now he turned priest. So they want to emphasize that, and how they did that was by they put these dots in my eyes to make me look more saintly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because with a face like this, I mean, imagine.
I thought you looked saintly already.
Ironically, they did the same thing to me in Oh God, You Devil. Only it wasn't to me, it was to him. It was to God. Because when I opened the door, this thing came out. That was long before the computer world. That was 25 years ago.
Right.
Now, you never know, unless you do the stuff where they put the little dots on you. And then
Right.
And you do an hour and a half in front of the computer first.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they match it up later with special effects.
No, I came late. I came too late for that.
From when you started to now, the technology that has taken over Hollywood is amazing. What do you like about it, and what do you dislike about
Well,
it?
let me begin by saying the call sheet you were talking about.
Right.
I went first on the call sheet. You know, back then it was all handwritten.
Right,
You know,
right.
They used to use a ruler, and then they would handwrite everybody's name and
Yep.
your call time and everything
Yep.
else. Now, of course, it's just a piece of paper that's computerized.
Oh no.
No?
Oh no. Oh no.
No?
Now,
Mhm.
now it's not even an adult size anymore.
Oh, no.
Now it's this big,
Uh-huh.
like this. They have sides. What I don't like
Right.
about it is I
Can't
can't read it.
Yeah.
So when I get to set, when I get to camp, I say, could I have a call sheet, an adult size call sheet, and adult size sides? Because the mini size are great. You can stick them in your pocket. But if you can't read them without your glasses, and then you're caught in between, plus you've got something you don't need for the scene, and you know what it's like on a set. If you put something down, it's gone,
Yes, absolutely.
or it's in the way.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do either one of those things.
But technically, it has changed immensely. I mean, this is now, it's more, I would say 85%
Oh, without
technical
question.
and 15% performance.
When was the last time you heard them say check the gate after a shot?
Oh, I haven't.
Years.
Well, I haven't worked in quite a while either. So.
Well,
but that's out of choice.
That's because I've been getting all the work.
Yeah, that's good.
You know how it
I'm
works.
glad.
There's only 5 Latinos in town, and we share that work burden.
Yeah.
Well, which reminds me, okay, years and years and years ago, when you went through the pilot process, it was like step by step. You know, you go read for someone, then you get a call back, then a second call back, then you read for the producers, then you go to screen test. It's a long process. I'm at Warner Brothers, and it's the same 9 guys I ever read with in the beginning: Tony Plana, Eddie Olmos, Pepe Serna. I mean, just the same guys. And at the end of this gauntlet of auditions, there's 5 of us left, and we're sitting in a room at Warner Brothers, when you could just drive under the little back lot there and walk right in.
Yes.
And this was great. You can confirm this. We were not that competitive. We would get in a room, oh, Danny, what's going on? We show pictures of our grandchildren and wives and friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd even read with each other. You want to read? Sure. For the same part, we just prepare each other.
Yeah.
The other people in the corner with their sides, like, they're very, you know.
There was a camaraderie.
Yeah, we did have a company. It was a familia.
And
It was a familia.
And still do.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're sitting there looking at each other thinking, you know what? One of us is going to walk out of here with a job. And all of a sudden, BAM! The door opens up, and here comes Eric Estrada, dressed like an astronaut or a cowboy or something. He's obviously working on the lot. He comes right in, and the casting director comes, "Oh, Eric, come on in." And we're looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? Everybody started being really negative. He comes out and he's walking around and he's going, "What do you think? What do you think? $5,000. He just got his teeth capped, right? Well, you had to be working to afford that. So he was going on, and he walks out and they're all grumbling. I go, no. Guys, you got this all wrong. What you need to do is pray that he gets this part, that the pilot gets picked up, and it runs for 10 years, and we'll never have to
Worry about him
worry
again.
about it again. And guess what? It happened.
Yeah.
It was called Chips.
Chips, yeah.
And once Eric got the part,
Yeah.
we all started working.
As elders in the business, as seasoned actors, do you find sometimes when you go into auditions that you are treated disrespectfully? Here you're bringing craft, you're bringing experience, you're bringing a whole lot of history, and they're just kind of dismissing you.
Well, if they are, I've never really seen that. I mean, I've always been treated with a lot of courtesy. I've always been treated as a gentleman.
But that's because you are a gentleman and you have self-respect. It's easy to respect somebody who respects themselves. I've had a variety of experiences, not exactly as you described. We talked about the changes in technology. I mean, now when you get on set, when I'm on location somewhere, first thing I do is I go to Video Village. Because I'm not there for the day one of the shoot usually. I fly in for a week or two on a bigger project. I need to go to Video Village and see what this director thinks a close-up is, how animated the actors are, because if they're all Brando, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we're going to die. I don't want to be going, we're going to die! You know, you want to sort of blend right in. The problem is, because of the disrespect of unions nationwide, we're losing a lot of the rewards that we had 20 years ago, like first class round trip tickets. Well, how far are you going? You got to go certain now, because now it's business class. I go, well, and they always say, yeah, but it's only 1 row behind first class. Yeah, but it's 90 rows to the bathroom. And Mr. Prostate tells me when I got to go, and I got to go where the captain goes. So I have to fight to get on equal footing. We've lost a lot of perks over the years through the union, because they've built a union for younger people. And because the Amazons and the Googles, the new media, they're starting at a very low entry level, and that's a new actor. If I were 22 years old, I wouldn't care if I got $50 a day or $1,500 a day. I mean, I'd want to work. I want a resume. I need experience. But when you become, veteran actors, I want my perks. I will not get in a honey wagon. I'm not going to drive to Santa Clarita at 5 o'clock on a Friday to read for a supporting role.
Right.
And the thing that bothers me most, I can get in a room and walk in and see I can see, Bert Rosario. I can see all these guys. And I'm looking around the room, I'm going, this is disrespectful. You can hand this role to anybody in this room.
Correct.
You just make them an offer and you've got gold. But we're still competing for the small pieces.
Yeah.
So, I told my agent years ago, look, I'm Tom Cruise. I had to tell my agent, no, I'm going to say no. So don't send me out, to Santa Clarita on a Friday, because I'm not going.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started in the business, it was fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun.
Exciting.
And I didn't come to do commercials. That was not my goal at all.
Right.
My goal was basically to work in theater. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, when you came to town, there was still theater here.
There was theater.
Now,
Yeah.
we don't have the theater we used to have.
Yeah, we had. In fact,
And-
I started with Nosotros.
Well, I had my relationship with the Nosotros too.
Yeah.
Nosotros,
Yeah.
or Los Otros.
Yeah.
But here's something I want to see your reaction to without you asking the question. Self-taping.
We didn't have that at the time.
What kind of camera do you have? What kind of lighting do you have? What kind of audio do you have? I went to an audition where the casting person didn't have an assistant and had literally a phone on a stick with his laptop, and he's reading with me. I'm going, well, what am I looking? He goes, it doesn't matter. I'm going, okay, you know what? I don't think I'm right for this role, because it does matter to me where I'm looking. I need an eye line.
Well,
I need
that goes
a
back to
scene
what you're
partner.
saying, being the respect.
Yes.
The respect of the craft. Sometimes we lose sight of that. I think, and I don't know how the casting is done today, because I haven't worked in quite a while.
Right.
Out of choice.
Yeah.
I don't know how the
Residuals.
Yeah, I never experienced
Right.
that. I did experience in the last couple of years of my career. They said, you have a camera. I said, what do you mean I have a camera? I got a phone. And I
Right.
take it there, and the thing moves all over the
Right,
place,
right.
and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. But
Yeah.
that was my attitude at the end of my run, which was like 4 years ago. I really didn't care that much anymore.
Well, okay, that's my mantra.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
People complain to me. I go, you need a psychiatrist, you
Yeah.
need a priest, you need a
Right.
rabbi, a girlfriend, a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
I can't help you.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes to the self-taping, like I've self-taped twice in my life, and I hired a cinematographer and paid a lot of money to get comfortable. I don't understand how you can just go, psh, psh, and just look at an image and discern what that actor's level of work is, how it fits in the big project. I mean, they have better skills than
But they
I do.
don't care.
I think it depends on who is directing, who the company is, that they will give actors the courtesy to come in and read.
If it's an adult at the top.
Yes, I think it just depends on who it is.
If the person I'm
Yeah.
reading for is younger than the shoes I'm wearing, no, I have no idea what's going to happen. I know one thing: the assumption. Because when we first started, I remember an audition late night, and it was one of my first auditions ever. And I read it, and they all stared at me and said, "That's terrific. Can you do it again with an accent?" And I turned around and said, "So I'm walking down the street, and I saw this lady. She stopped, stared at me, and disappeared." And they were just like stunned. And I said, "Well, you said do it in an accent." "Well, we were thinking, more barrio." In the beginning, we fought to speak English. Now they want us to speak Spanish, and they assume that when you walk in the door, that we can translate.
They're writing.
You can't translate a lot of stuff from English into Spanish,
I
and
think the
I don't.
problem
And
is
my Spanish
We're
is
actors.
yeah.
We're not writers.
Yeah.
Our job is not to translate anything. You give us the material and we do it. But you can't ask us to rewrite somebody's work.
But they have asked us.
Yeah.
I get that. But I'm
And
just
that's why he
saying
quit.
that's-
Yeah. And basically, in a nutshell, I left acting not because I didn't love it, not because I didn't care for it. I just found it boring. I found the process
Predictable.
Yeah, I really didn't feel it. When we first started acting, you got the script a couple of weeks before.
Right.
You were able to develop it.
Right,
You
right,
get into
right,
psychology. You get
right.
into my mother, my father, the politics, the religion.
You created your own backstory.
Yeah, all of that. And
Yeah.
that's how I learned
Right.
from the theater.
Right.
I mean, when I first started acting in the theater, I would take the script and I would write 5 pages of a biography.
Thank you.
I mean,
yes, that's how you do it.
It's astrological sign. I would draw the pictures of the
Right,
astrological sign.
Which would eliminate some of this ambitious directors when they say, "And with great disdain, he reluctantly turns unhappily exits." I go, I studied with one of the greatest acting coaches of all time. I don't know how to turn reluctantly. I don't know how. All I want you to say is he exits. Like Kramer, the character on Seinfeld. I've read spec scripts where the writers try to explain how he enters. I said, you don't tell him how to enter. You just put enter Kramer or Kramer enters. Richard will do that. This license to control what's on the screen it's a lot more popular now than it was before. Because if you have a backstory, if you know the astrological sign of your character, if you know if he's a vegetarian or not, if you know if he loves his children or kicks dogs, then the words on that page are going to reflect that.
Exactly.
And you don't have to say, with great disdain. I don't know how to do great disdain or reluctantly. I know how to sit down and stand up.
Along those same lines, now that I have been able to coach some actors, the first thing I tell them is go to your astrological sign. When did you receive the script? That's your birthday. And then take it from there. That will give you a lot of material to work with.
You see, you're going to have to come to one of my workshops and share that experience. Because I tell these people, look, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. This is you're not looking for a job. You want them to see your work. What I want you to do is give them a take so that they see your skills and they go, wow, that's not what we were looking for.
You're bringing
You're bringing something in.
Yeah.
Could you do that again?
Yeah.
Only lighten up.
Reluctantly.
Throw this with great disdain. Could you do that scene again? Throw it away. Not so heavy. I mean, and if you can take your version of of this character and the scene that you're reading, let them see your work. And they go, wow,
Your essence.
This guy is an actor. And then they say, okay, I see what you're doing and I love it. Particularly when you get to work with a director in the room or a producer, producer-writer, because they have a hands-on relationship. Casting directors, some of them don't delve into that. Some of the old school people do. They're great, and they greet you with total respect. Hey, how's it going? I saw you in, and blah, 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 blah. This is going to be, there's a relationship you have. Sometimes you don't get that. But if you can, in the room, give them what you think the scene is, they recognize your skills, and they say, okay, do it again this way, and then you do it this way, they're really happy. Because at that point,
you can follow directions.
You can follow directions. And you have such a fertile...
Yeah.
And they have confidence in you.
And they have confidence. It's
Because of what we said, because you came in prepared. You did your homework.
Exactly.
You wrote the biography.
Yeah.
You
and
know
if you don't
who you
come
are.
in hungry and needy, just come in with your work. I'm prepared to go. Let's go.
When I would go, I say, excuse me a minute, and I do a half a turn.
Oh, I love it.
Or I turn completely and give them my back.
I do too.
And then I come into the scene.
I tell my actors, without being rude, it's your audition. Tell them what you're going to do and do it with their permission. All right, if you don't mind, I'm going to start this scene on my feet. I'm going to turn into it. I'm going to look up at you, give me a beat, and that'll be my cue.
But I'm counter that. I go in and I don't care. I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to tell them what I'm going to do
No,
because then
no.
they're prepared.
I
want to shock
I'm not
them.
talking about my choices.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how I'm going to attack
Yeah,
the scene.
yeah.
Sitting down, standing up,
Yeah.
turn into it. Because what I want to do is separate the three scenes. I don't want them to rush me. So this scene I'm going to start seated. This scene I'm going to start standing. If that's okay with you,
Yeah.
I'll turn into it.
Okay.
Last time I had an audition, when I said I'll turn into it, she went no. And I go what?
Well, I've had casting directors. Sometimes
No, but
don't
she
get too close.
No, but yeah, exactly. She says she pointed to this little tiny thing, a phone, and she goes, "I really can't. This thing, I have no." And she didn't have an operator; it was just her. I said, "I totally get it." I said, "Let me start here. Give me a beat. Let me look up and find you because I've got the first line based on where I see you. So let me just." She goes, "Terrific." And then I read, and she said the following: "That was great." And then I said, "What?" She goes, "That was great." And she goes,
That's the.
No. She said, I said, "That was great." And I said, "Is that the best you can do?" And I booked it. No, the words you're looking for. You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because rarely will they tell you what they think of it. But she said, "No, that was great. I loved it." And I go, "What?" I wanted to say it again.
What was the most fun you had at an audition?
Oh, geez. Pictures of Pepe Serna's paintings?
I try to make them all fun.
Yeah, they're all fun for me.
That's a great answer, a great question. Because when I walk into an audition, my job is to make all those people out there relaxed. I come in and I make them relax. I tell them a joke. I tell them something about my backstory, and make them relax because I come in relaxed.
The most fun time I've had
Yeah,
was at Paramount. I played the Brazilian.
we're Mexican.
I asked, it was a horrible day, crowded, and the casting director was not having a good day, and she, "Go outside, don't go outside, don't go," she was just having a day. So she came out and said, "Okay, whatever you do, all right, forget about the accent, just read the lines." So I went in and I said, "Has anybody here ever been to Brazil? Anybody here speak Brasileira? Fala muito bom." And she's looking at me like, and then I said a couple of jokes with using the language, and they're just cracking up.
Exactly.
And she's just steaming, looking at me. "I told you not to do that." They booked me.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I like to come in there, get them relaxed, because I tell my actors this. They reject so many people every day. They need to lighten up too.
Exactly.
And if you come in and you're so prepared and so confident in what you're going to do, have a little fun. I mean, walk in, how about those Dodgers? How about those Lakers? You got about a minute and a half before, okay, let's get to work. How you fill that minute and a half is up to you. It's your audition.
Yeah.
If you can make them comfortable, if you can laugh, so be it.
Yeah.
Don't make it up if you can't. Don't try that hard.
No.
What was the best acting job you had that you got to play the most outrageous or beloved character, or just a nasty character that you really loved?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I played this character with Colin Firth, the Academy Award.
Yeah.
What is it, the King's Speech or something?
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Well,
Yes.
I worked in a program with him in Colombia, and that was the best piece of work that I've ever done. Because first and foremost, it was in a different. The location was fantastic. It was these old castles and the Moros.
Oh, jeez.
And everybody was in uniform. And I worked with all these Cubans also from Miami. Emiliano Diaz.
Oh, jeez.
I worked with all these guys. That was one of the best shoots yet. In fact, when I first met Colin Firth, I said, what's your name? He said, Colin Firth. And I looked at him and I said, nobody's called First.
That's hilarious. Well, in my
And it's Colin Firth.
yeah, exactly, which was absolutely brilliant.
That's funny.
Because the fact is, I lived in England as a boy, and I've yet to be able to speak the Queen's English in a role. If someone out there wants to cast me speaking English, call me. I don't have a problem. It's not an accent. If you live in England and learn how to speak as the Queen speaks, it's not an accent. But they want me to do bad Spanish, bad English, play bad guys, and I get a pretty good check. But I had mentioned in our previous talk about doing this guest star on Grimm, where I got to play a mask maker for the luchadores. And what made it really cool was I'd work with this DP on Angel, had a guest on Angel, but I was a luchador con máscara. You couldn't. I could have been George Clooney, you wouldn't have known it. So I did the whole thing with a mask on. So when I got my first day on set, he recognized me and then said to the group, I work with Danny on this other project, and that's like a stamp of approval. These are the words I heard. Day one, first scene. All right, we're gonna start on Danny. We're gonna push in, then we're gonna come back around on Danny, and then we're gonna pull back wide, and we're gonna feature Danny. And I heard Danny about a dozen times. This is gonna be fun. But one of my favorite, it's a small role, it's a strange movie, it's a martial arts movie, it's a gang movie, sort of an homage to the spaghetti westerns, but in modern times. These are drug dealers and killers. RoboCop was the star of this thing. It speaks 7 languages. He's Mensa IQ, plays a cornet, amazing guy who played RoboCop. I was a Vietnam vet. The star, Kung Lee, a martial artist, gets really injured. I rescue him, I bring him back to life, and give him kind of a pep talk. Get off your butt, go fight again. But the monologue, when I read the first script, was like 3 pages long, just me. And I'm going, that's never going to happen. But it turned out to be an incredible amount of screen time in the middle of the movie. And when I got to set, I said, is the writer available? They go, he's here today. And I said to him, look, nothing personal, but I lost a lot of my friends to Vietnam. I never served. I did stand up for the Army, but you're doing some things in here that we might be able to. You go, well, what? I go, if he's a veteran of the war, he wouldn't say they had a gun or they had a grenade. That's an MC-125. We just raised the level of this soldier's awareness. But I tell this story about a guy who jumps onto a grenade, but instead of him dying, he lives. The director, the DP, they just made me the star of this movie. I got to get through 49.5 minutes, and then there I am for 3. Look up Dragon Eyes. It's a strange little movie. It's well done. The martial arts apparently is terrific, because all my friends in martial arts, wanted to know who coordinated and stuff. But there's a monologue in the middle of it that I'm really proud of. And like you said, you play these bad guys or you play these one moments, and you never forget them.
I like reading. I like doing those things where, for instance, I did Joseph Conrad, one of his pieces. These days I find so very interesting because they have that backstory, that real backstory. Yeah. Like the raping of Latin America, taking out the silver and the gold and killing the Indians and the fauna.
That's why we're not Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not Spanish.
Yeah.
We didn't rape a country.
Yeah, when you get a role like that, that you're able to really dig your teeth into.
Yeah.
That's when acting becomes great. The challenge that we take.
That's why most of us really gravitate towards theater, because that's the challenge of theater.
Yeah.
Whether it's Rhinoceros or William Shakespeare, a very contemporary artist, it's theater.
And the classics as well. I was fortunate enough to do some of the classics as well. Euripides and whatnot, Aristotle and all those.
Were you doing Shakespeare in the Park back in the day?
No. I did it here at the South Coast Repertory Theater.
Okay.
What would you like to see happening for Latinos in the business moving forward?
Wow.
Me, personally, I've always said since day one, get together, put your money together, and do your own productions. That's the only way that you're going to really, as we use the words, dig your teeth into a piece. Put your monies together, group yourself. They did it. Sidney Poitier did it. Newman did it. Hoffman did it. They all got together. They created a company, various
United
companies.
Artists.
Yeah, they created companies and they flourished. And it doesn't have to be in today's market. We don't need big stars if you got a good story.
And I would like to see them trust us more.
Yeah.
Rennie Santoni
But excuse me,
Go ahead.
on top of that, then, it hasn't, to me, it has nothing to do whether they trust me or not. The fact is, I'm the one that's producing it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I agree with.
Yeah.
But she asked the question. I would like them to trust us more. That's a whole different animal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Rennie Santoni and I were part of the original Loop group ever. Allison Gottlieb Kane, on the motion picture Jaws, created a Loop group specifically for this movie.
And looping is?
Additional dialogue recording. It's the background sounds. The wall-to-wall sound. It used to be walla walla walla, rutabaga, rutabaga.
Right.
But if you listen to Jaws, they're at a beach. There's not one mention of a shark. Johnny, would you leave your sister alone? Hey, that's mustard.
Yeah.
There are people at the beach. If it was LA Law, we did legal talk. If it was a detective show, we did detective talk. And Allison Gottlieb Kane started a whole cottage industry. And now it's under the jurisdiction of very competitive. There are loop groups all over town. One time, Rennie and I were asked to go to the looping bar and do some ad lib. We threw in some Spanish. Cut! Hold it. What did you guys say? You didn't say anything bad, did you? And I go, what? There wasn't anything dirty. And then Rennie, because he's so smart and so
Rennie,
brilliant,
Is
he
he
goes,
still with us, by the way?
I don't know. I hope he's not. I mean, I hope he's not. I hope Rennie, I love you. I hope he's alive and well.
Yeah.
I miss him because he's one of the greatest improvisers of all
Yes,
time.
yes.
And I work with Robin at the Comedy Store. I saw great improvisers. I love Jonathan Winters. Rennie Santoni, pound for pound, was one of the
You know him.
best improvisers ever. But he'd look at to answer this question. What did we say? He goes, I don't know if you include that part. When I was having sex with my grandmother, and the guy turned white. I goes, what? And Rennie says, dude, what do you think we're gonna say? How dare you?
Yeah.
That's such an insult. One day I'm in a looping session, and the one about the drunk, Arthur, the two comics, the little one.
Yeah.
I'm Peter Cook, and I'm Moore, and I'm the tall one. Anyway, he's playing a piano, and he says the word Tijuana. Well, the town's named Tijuana. Tijuana is my Aunt Jane. Originally, there was an Aunt Jane 100 years ago, but the town today is Tijuana, and it's one of my pet peeves. And I said something to my loopers, and he overheard. And, lights on, pressure on me, and he said, what are you, a damn expert? I go, no, but I've been Mexican most of my life, which became my opening act when I was on the road.
Good for you. Good for you.
Because it came out of that moment. I use it. It's like, well, what were you before?
Right.
Well, it depends.
Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore.
Dudley
Yeah.
Moore.
Dudley Moore. Yeah, Peter Cook. I'm Peter Cook, and I'm Dudley Moore. No, we're Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. I'm the tall one. That was their opening line. But the idea that we would sabotage a film. First of all, you can't say curse words in Spanish. There's no go to hell in Spanish. There's no F word. You can't say the literal translation. They hear the word pinche, cabrón, chingao,
Yeah.
or pendejo, and they think it's like some swear word. I go, no, it's not. That means stupid. Mental means dumb, stupid. But they're so paranoid. I wish they would just unleash us and let us be and contribute to the greatness of the project, as opposed to telling us, well, don't say mija. Why not? It's in terms of endearment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she's literally my daughter, but this young woman, mija, por favor, hazme un favor, would you? That's just terms of endearment.
Yes, yes.
And they don't trust us.
No.
That's the part that bothers me.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful, and I think this information will help a lot of young actors and maybe people in the business who need to see us in a different way. That's all the time I have for you. So if you want acting tips, if you're looking for industry insight, industry interviews, or life lessons, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so you can get it all as it comes out.
Ding-a-ling.
Ding ding.
Don't mess up my ending!